Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Ayutthaya. We're east of the island and we're in the old settlement that they called Ayutthaya. So this is a temple that was built probably in like the 6th century originally by the Dewati that were over here, and then this whole area was set up and it was incorporated into a Khmer stronghold in the 13th century, and then it became part of Ayutthaya whenever Ayutthaya was settled over here. So this is Wat Chakkrawat. It has another name, a couple other little names, but what it means is it's the temple of the three levels of like the Buddhism, the hell, the flat earth, and then the heaven that's right above it. And it has like the Mount Meru incorporated into it and some other things. I'll put the best description I can down below so you can read a little bit more about it. Anyway, we're gonna walk through here and we're gonna take a look at it. It's been restored like at least 3 times. And all it mainly is here is a really cool chetty, and then it has the base of the other buildings and stuff like that. So let's walk through here and see what we see. This is the area. If you go over that away is Wat Mayong, one of the biggest temples. And then this is a moat that surrounded this temple. And then you have the crystal wall and then the main chetty. And then there's another temple over that away that has some really nice temple murals. Wat Pradu Songtham, I think is what it is. I haven't been in there in a little while. It's quite cool. And then Wat Kudi Dao is right behind us. Wat Chang is over by Wat Mayong, and then you have like the floating market. And you can get it here by coming down right off of the road, or you can cross the little moat that I did. So this is the site. There's not a whole lot to see here, but definitely the cool part is the chetty. When you come in, here's the old wall. So this would have been an arched gate, and you would have came through it. And I would have had the gates on the 4 cardinal directions. So we have a humongous chetty. The top of it is just missing, and then we have this smaller little chetties all around, and they're the bell shaped. Yeah, this is really a nice little site. Has some trees and stuff like that. Looks like the grass is starting to get a little tall, but it's rainy season. It doesn't take much and the grass just shoots right up. And then this right here, this is the original wall, and then the monk quarters would have been over here. So the original wall was 35 by 55 meters, and then it was expanded later on when they made this temple a little larger. You can see it's a large area anyway. So in here would have been chetties on the main directions as well as the intercardinal directions. So it would have been the 8 directions. And all of that ties into like Mount Meru and stuff like that. And then you can see over there is that other temple. So you'd have had a couple different styles of chetties. This one here would have had the redented corners, while these are the bell chetties. And those are a long, thin bell, so those would have been like early Ayutthaya. And they say this has been expanded also. You can see a little bit of the plaster work and the trees growing on it. Yeah, it's a really nice chetty. And then this one here is just down to the base. But you can see these, how the plasters came off and how it's kind of tilted a little bit. So it looks like there was something inside there. Now it's just the termite mud tubes. Yeah, these bricks are very, very weathered there. And the base of this one. Yeah, the entrance or the opening of these is to the south, which is a little bit different. And we can see the rings around this chetty. And then way up there is like an octagon. And there's supposed to be some blooming lotus buds right there around that octagon. And then you can see the spire up at the top is missing the top. And it has 2 tiers of the square base. And this is to the east of it. This is where most of the buildings were at. Looks like an ordination hall over there. And I'm not sure what this was. I think it was maybe a chetty at one time. The same as all of these. So there would have been a bunch of chetties around this temple. Yeah, we'll look over here at these small little chetties, and then we'll go look at the base over here, and that'll be all we get to see today. You can see here how much plaster they would have had on this. This would have been a square base with a small auxiliary chetty that would have been a bell. The same as all of these right here. And then, I don't know if they would have been this size. These would have been a little smaller. But the one in the middle might have been this size. Oh, check out how much plaster is right there. That's like 8 inches of plaster jammed on there. Oh, and you can see a little bit over here. These are the original designs that are in it. So those would have been the like lotus flowers. And this would have been an octagonal base with the entrance on the east side. And there's still a little bit of plaster on the walls in there with like kind of a lotus bud doorway. And then over here we just got some scraps that they've tossed out over here. There's broken pieces of the chetties with the plaster. Yeah, I'm looking to see if we see any laterite stones that are mixed in. That's what the Dawadi would have used, as well as the Khmer when they occupied this area when it was Ayutthaya. And that's named after a city in India. That's where Ayutthaya comes from. Yeah, this is just some rough scraps of the brick and stuff like that with the wall. Yeah, no real treasures that I see. This is quite interesting. Check out that tree. It's completely engulfed that chetty, and it's going into the base of the huge chetty. So someday that tree will probably knock it down. Not in my lifetime, maybe in 50, 60 years. You can see the old crystal wall and then the new one that they added later on. And there's a little chetty over there. Yeah, not much to see of this. And some more of the auxiliary chetties. All right, let's walk over here to the ordination hall now. And this right here would have been an entrance to the gate, the crystal wall. You would have came from this ordination hall. Over that way is the east. So you would have came off the road where those ladies are at, right into the temple, and you would have prayed, and then you would have came out the back door right here, and then you would have went right through this gate to the chetty to do all of your stuff. Yeah, kind of a nice little site. There's not a lot to see as far as the buildings go. It would be kind of cool if they did let like a modern temple come in here and build on top of this and then use the chetty and have it all incorporated, but a lot of times they don't. There's only a few places here in Ayutthaya where they actually have let the monks come back in and settle. This would be a great candidate. It's right here next to the road. The Thais could come over here and use it. It would be great for them. And you can see the square columns and then all the little fragments here. So the heads, everything else that they just toss onto the pile. And then over here is the sandstone parts. So you got the legs and the hands. You can see some various parts of the Buddha, the cross-legged. And then this is what I was looking for here. This is a piece of the laterite stone right here. That's what the Khmer and the Dawadi would have used in their construction. Now what's interesting is these are square columns. Normally you would see these here would be Ayutthaya, or octagonal. That was like the shape of the old island of Ayutthaya. So you would have seen them in that, while these are square. Would have been kind of a cool looking building. And this is the ordination hall. This is where the monks would come in, do their chanting, and this is where all the new monks are ordained. This is kind of a cool look. So all those columns you'd have seen would have been perfectly in a line, and then you would have went right out to the back door to the chetty. And then they would have had the Buddha Sima stones. It looks like they would have been fairly good sized also. You can see how big they would have had the base. Probably the double row if it was early Ayutthaya. So this building is 16 meters wide and 30 meters long, and it was restored 3 different times and constructed probably early Ayutthaya era. Would have been really nice to see. You can see what's left of the outer wall, and then this is the main road over here. So that's the whole temple. Quite cool. All right, that's our video over here at this little temple. This is east of the island of Ayutthaya. This is the early settlement that predates the founding of the city in 1350. This is a nice little area. There's several temples that are right along here, that various states of restoration and all that. Probably the highlights over here are Wat Mayong and Wat Kudi Dao, even though there's several others that are quite cool. And you're over here, you don't get the tourists that you get on the main part of the island. Wat Mayong gets a little bit of tourists. Wat Kudi Dao gets a lot of the local Thais that come over here. It's a really cool temple, and I've made a couple videos from there, and I'll probably make another one here in the next little bit just because I enjoy that temple. So anyway, if you have liked this one, smash the like button. If you know anything about this that I don't, leave me a comment down below. I'd like to know a little bit more, especially the Dawadi and the Khmer era before the founding of Ayutthaya. It's the kind of the era that I really like to know more about. So if you know anything about that, definitely tell me, and leave me a comment about it and smash the like. And until next time, from over here in Ayutthaya, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.